Welcome back to the Night Girls with Lorren, Bri, and Dane Moss.
I don't know what I got myself into today, actually.
We got our boss man in the seat.
Yep, episode 10. We figured we need to make this one a little bit special, and we are ready for Dane to be on.
Are you ready?
I don't know if I'm ready, actually. So.
I did, before starting this episode, I did text Madison, Dane's wife, for a little bit of dirt or like key questions we should ask.
There's no dirt on me out there.
And she hasn't answered yet. So I'm gonna keep my text open this whole episode, and if she texts me back, I'm gonna for sure just hop right into it.
Yeah.
Okay. So this episode's pretty much just gonna be us asking Dane questions.
Yeah.
I know everyone's been walking around the office giggling. So I do have control over the editor also. So Ricky told me, he's like, don't feel too bad. Most time I'm in the driver's seat on the podcast, so this is a little new for me.
Yeah, exactly.
The Night Girls are driving.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, this is like our biggest HR
Violation.
disaster of the office.
That is true.
Oh man. All right.
Okay, we'll start off easy. Okay. First question for you, Dane. Give us your morning routine. What does your morning routine look like?
It's a very odd question.
No,
to start with.
like specifics.
Yeah, detail.
Like, what do you mean?
What time you wake up?
Kind of depends. I kind of go in waves. There'll be waves where I want to get up at 3:30. There'll be waves that's 4:30, then 5:30, and then I kind of go in a rotation. Mm-hmm. But I get up, I get ready, I go to the gym every morning.
Do you? Well, hold on.
Oh.
Do you go to bed and go to the bathroom immediately? Do you drink a cup of water? Do you brush your teeth first?
So, little tip in the morning when you get up and you go to your alarm, if you chug a bottle of water, it's almost impossible to go back to sleep. So,
Okay.
I keep my phone in the bathroom, so you can't snooze it. You have to get up out of bed. And then I go in there, I drink of water, turn off my alarm, get dressed. Sometimes, the reason I like going to the gym earlier is I like to shower before I go to the gym.
What?
What?
Why?
I'm a hygiene freak. Like, I like to be clean. Like, I'm very OCD when it comes to being clean. Like, the first thing I like to do the second I get out of bed is, like, get in the shower. Like, I feel like it wakes you up. It makes you feel better. So that's actually, like, when I get up at 5:30, I feel like I'm getting up too late. I don't have enough time to do what I need to do. So getting up earlier where I can shower, get ready, and then go to the gym is how I feel best.
What playlist do you listen to?
I get dogged on a lot for that from Madison, but I listen to Viking war music in the morning. And I don't know. I think humans today are just soft. I think people that in a competitive world, there's no competition anymore, and
Yeah.
I don't know, it gets me in the right headspace. So
Kill some people.
yeah. I always think about if you could survive back in the day when things were different, and so when I get up in the morning, those are the kind of things I think about. I take cold showers in the morning, and it's not really hard for me. It's just I think about there's a day and age where people didn't have hot water, where it's put yourself through those hard, uncomfortable things early on in the day. Makes the rest of the day pretty easy. So
Okay. So you get up in the morning, you take your shower, you go. Do you do your hair like before you go to the gym?
it's a 50-50. Sometimes I wear a hat, sometimes I don't.
How do you do your hair?
It takes me like 2 seconds. Like
Oh.
I just get
But you
out.
actually use product, don't you?
Yeah, I just hair dry it. It literally forms right to the shape it is, and I just run my hands through it real fast with gel, and I'm ready to roll. I
Okay.
think it takes like a long time.
So
Probably
then you
fastest
go to
way
the
to
gym, go back home, shower, get ready for the day.
Yep.
Come in.
So I like to take my time when I come back home. I don't like to rush in the mornings.
Yeah.
I feel like life's business-wise is always really fast-paced and running 100 miles an hour. That I like my mornings to be the one thing that's not too fast.
Okay. So what does your morning routine look like? Not a work day.
It really depends on where I'm at. I feel like we're always scheduled out. We're always doing things, but I still like getting up and going to the gym Saturday and Sunday. If I don't go to the gym, I feel guilty. I feel like I did myself a disservice. that's just getting up. And I think when you're in that routine, the longer that you hold it, the easier it is to maintain it. And but I like just to have, like, when I go on Saturday or Sunday, I kind of take the whole morning. That I'll get up, and that's time I may go get breakfast and have coffee or something. But it's once I go to the gym, it's take my sweet time there, and then sit in the sauna for a while, then grab food on the way home, and that's like to have my time.
Okay.
Saturday brunch. Mimosas or Bloody Marys?
Bloody Marys all day.
Oh! Like my sweaty hands?
Yeah. I'm not, I don't know. I can drink mimosas, but I'd just rather have champagne with no orange juice.
Yeah. Same. All right.
Okay.
So you hired me and Lorren.
Yes, I did do that.
And
Somehow I created this destiny of mine right here. So
I want to know me and Lorren's best qualities in your eyes.
best qualities. Lawrence is going to be organization for sure. Lawrence probably.
I'm writing these down just so we can have them.
I'm going to say Lauren brought a whole new organization level to MMG when she started, which I'm going to say MMG was not very big when Lauren started. So,
Really?
No.
Yeah,
I thought you've always just been organized.
No, I'm saying MMG wasn't
MMG,
like.
yeah. Okay.
MMG was. When Lauren and Ricky started, we didn't have the work for them to start, so it was.
You think your first day at work was unplanned? You should have been there for my first day.
Yeah, Lorren was in the basement.
I
with
texted Dane and I was like, hey, what should I wear?
That's the first time I even got that question since I started. I was like, I don't know, wear whatever you want to wear. I was like,
Wear what you wear.
We're in the basement. I don't care. I was like, half the time, like, our main conversation we had before Lauren started was we actually had to put shirts on, like, because most of the time we're just all down there without our shirts on, just rocking out and everything, like, working on our computers. And also we're like, oh, we got a girl star. We got to, like, keep our clothes on. Like, we got to have shirts on and be, like, more professional. So, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say organization for sure on Lauren. And then, Bri, I think you're just energy level. I think energy is, I think that's not something you can teach people. And same thing with organization. There's people that want to be organized, but there's people that, like, and I'm not going to say I'm the most organized person in every aspect of life. I'm very OCD when it comes to our home forefront, the way my space is around me all the time. But I can get disorganized when it comes to just so many moving parts in business that sometimes I get I forget things. And
Yeah.
for the longest time when I started, I was like, I can remember everything. And when we had 15, 20 accounts, I could.
Yeah.
And then it got to a spot where it was like, okay, we need to put something in place here that's a little bit more scalable and a little bit more organized. So that was a huge help and a huge step on Lauren's side.
For sure. Cool.
Love it.
What is the hardest part of being a business owner?
Shit, I don't think there's an answer. It's everything.
Really?
I look at most business owners, I think, struggle with not knowing where they're going. That there's no, I don't know what next month holds. I don't know what tomorrow holds. I don't know. Like, just becoming so comfortable being uncomfortable all the time.
Yeah.
And and I think that I don't struggle with that. I don't think that's hard for me anymore. Like, I don't fear anything. Like, I don't fear failing. Like, I've just never been somebody that, when I put my head to it, I feel like there's a lot of people that if someone tells them they can't do something and they listen to them, like, I don't listen to people. It's like I just run and go in my own direction. I think one of my biggest struggles has been more of an internal. I think one of the hard things is when you're doing things and then you have people that second guess inside the walls of what you're doing, where it's when I've made certain hires here that people did not agree with. And I would have hoped up to that point that they would believe more that I was making the right decision. But you get that buy-in from someone as you progress. But I think just sometimes it's hard when I make a decision and I have pushback from people because they can't see the bigger picture of where we're going.
Yeah.
And they're looking at it more on a day-to-day movement. That it's, hey, this increases workload here, increases workload here. This process is going to make this more difficult. But with 20 people, yeah, it is an increase. But also at 200 people, our current process does not work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's trying to get people to look at that bigger picture. And it's like, I feel like that's the conversation I'm having over and over and over. And I feel like it's a lot of times I'm a broken record with different people. And I feel like I have the same conversations with the same people like 20 times. I'm like in my head, I'm having deja vu. Like, are you too? I'm like, so I think that's a hard point for me, that what I thought being a business owner was and what actually being a good business owner reality is two completely different things.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. There's a million different answers out in the world for that question. And next year, that answer for me will probably be completely different.
Yeah.
It's always going to, because what's hard for me now and the things I think about now in a year will have developed something to make that smoother.
Better,
We'll have put something in place that then isn't something hard anymore, that there's going to be a whole new problem or task or something at hand at that point that we have to then conquer, and it's just taking those next steps every single time, figuring it out, and I mean, that's the name of the game.
Keep going. Cool. Okay,
Go ahead.
where do you see MMG in 5 years? Like specifics. Like fucking pool in the back, a dog maybe running around.
Yeah, it's,
This is what I want in 5 years.
I actually do believe we'll have a pool one day at the office.
Really?
Yeah, like that's.
Shit.
I think that's one of those things that I think so big, and I dream so big, and a lot of people are faulted for it. And I think a lot of people used to call me crazy, and as they've seen things happen, it's funny how much other people are like, "Oh, I knew it was going to work the whole time." Like, bullshit, you did not.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a lot easier to buy in now once you're seeing the big movement, but it's also, I've also been such a culture person that when I think about business, it's funny, a lot of times I'll have business owners ask me where I want to be in 5 years, and they're thinking I'm like going to give them like a set financial number of like, we're going to have this many accounts, we're going to have this and this. And I'm like, I'm talking about the fantasy factory, I'm talking about Lamborghinis everywhere and everything, like what money you're going to have like at this. I'm like, fuck it, I have no idea.
But we
like,
better have enough to get a
like,
fantasy factory.
I was like, we're going to have 200 plus employees, we're going to have this just marketing mecca of the Midwest that like hasn't been built, and it's going to be something that everyone wants to be a part of, that people want to work there, that the network and the connections that can be made through it. And it's the hard thing is the vision's so clear to me in my head that when I talk to people about it, they don't see it. And I think that's a hard part about being an entrepreneur. So I think it piggybacks into the last question also, where I used to think like when I said those things, I'm like, why can people not see this? Like,
Yeah.
but I knew that was something that now is what makes me unique in what I do, and why I'm in the position I'm in is because I have this map that I have to follow, and I have to be able to relay it to the people around me. And it's being a person that when you say you're going to do those crazy things and we're going to do all those, that one after another becomes reality. I think that's when people start buying in at a whole nother level.
Yeah.
That they're like, it
Oh,
always
shit, he
happens.
is right.
And it's like, but one day when we have the Jets and we have all this other stuff, and it's like, there'll be people watch us like, yo, okay, sure. Like, people can talk like that. Like, 4 years ago, I had everyone tell me that 98% of business owners fail in the first 2 years. I have that sign on a Dom bottle that I popped at 4.
That's cool.
And it's like, at the end of the day, I very much have a fuck you mentality that it's like, it just makes that chip on my shoulder bigger and bigger and bigger. But it's like a 5-year plan where the thing that I can't wrap my head around, and it's hard as we progress. Now we have 20 plus people in the office. Our movement in a day is what used to take me a month plus to get done.
Really? Wow.
So it's like that movement becomes so fast that you're getting up to a speed that you never even thought was possible to even move at. And now all of a sudden it's in a 5-day work week is what took me almost 6 months to accomplish.
I know every week is different here.
Yeah, and it's like
Cool.
that progression I look at here in a very quick time frame. I look at the next 3 to 6 months, we're going to be at movement. What happens in a day at MMG took me a whole entire year to build. Year one. That movement becomes that fast that it's like when you a lot of people scale and then they hit to a spot where they find comfort and then they stop.
Yeah.
Like, my deal is there's no comfort level for me. My driving force is how do I build everyone around here? How do I build everyone to their dreams and their visions and that crazy dream that somebody comes to me about? I'm like, that can be reality. Like, and we can build that. And it's like, whatever that might be for you or whatever that might be for Lorren, like, those things can be a reality, but you have to be in a company that's willing to go there, where most people probably get to a position where I'm at right now and say, hey, you know what? Built a company, got 20 plus people.
Yep. I'm out.
There's profit lines. Like, I go golf every single morning and come in at noon and go home early every day. Go have
I would
drinks.
be so mad at you.
But it's like, but like, that's not what I want. Like, that's, no one here signed up for that.
Yeah.
People signed up for the fantasy factory, the jets, this big vision at the end. And it's when you have 20 people that are all going in the same direction, crazy shit happens. And it's... So
I didn't realize the vision until probably like 3 weeks into the job.
Yeah.
Because like in my interviews, like I was like, yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. And then I actually started working for you and Dre, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's going to happen.
And it's hard, though, and that's why a lot of times I tread very lightly on who I even talk to about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people, their brains don't work that way. And it's hard because I don't understand how someone else's brain works. I don't understand how your brain works, Lauren's brain works, and it's just like, I don't know how, a lot of times, too, when you talk to people, it's like, it comes off as arrogance, it comes off as cockiness, it comes off as the wrong way.
Yeah.
Which it's like, I look at it as there's 20 plus people that love coming to work in here. Like, that's my biggest win so far.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm accomplishing that over and over and over, like, all I care is, like, the day I die, I don't care what amount of money I have, anything like that. If I can go down as a great leader and that I changed a lot of people's lives for the better, I hit my mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Aww.
I don't know if a 5 year, I've been off every single time. I mean, every time we put something in place, it just
happens earlier.
Happens quicker.
And it talks, like Patrick Bet-David, his book, The Next 5 Moves, he talks about not thinking too far, but he's like, think about just far enough in front of you to where you can because if you think too far, you become where you're not agile. And you're not making those quick moves because it's into a vision that's so far away.
And you like just keep pushing stuff back.
So you have to keep it in a short
year.
Enough time frame that it's still tangible. That I put like micro goals in place. I put all these different goals in place, and it's little things that I can hit that I know that I'm making progress. And it's as long as you're always finding progress every single day. And I think a lot of people just sit stagnant in life. If you're always finding that progress, then I mean everything keeps moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
What were you most worried about when you hired the first girl? Like,
AKA Lorren.
it was me, but like, there was a lot of change.
So, once again, I'm going to have to tread this lightly because I'm definitely not the most PC person in the world. But I'd worked with females in the auto space, and females run with a whole different level of emotion. And it was, I liked working with males because I could have those really hard conversations, like one after another. And I'm not saying every female is like that, but I will say that in a business setting, from my experiences that I've had, men were much more emotionally controlled.
Yeah.
To where that was one of my biggest fears. And from an HR side, because at that point, I mean, we were running like a fraternity house in my basement. So the idea at that point of like a female coming, I was like, which I knew there was going to be a time of it. And I was just like, and I think it worked out the best way possible with you coming in with Ricky, like your husband, the whole nine, because then I was like, okay, what if it's like some single girl that's like at my house every day?
Yeah.
And I'm like, with all these dudes, I'm like, there was just like so many different things going through my head that I'm like, I mean, I don't know how to do this stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't think I have insurance on this. I was like, I don't know, like, what all these different things look like as a business owner. And I'm like,
gotta go buy tampons to put in the bathroom.
yeah. And it was just like this whole thing that I was like, do I even want to take on that fight? And then it's also, we live in a day and age like, oh, you're not hiring females, like,
Yeah, you're canceled.
Yeah, you're sexist. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm like, but it's my deal too. Is there's a different way to manage, like, and it was something that you have to tread lighter grounds. It's when you're having one-on-one conversations. Like, I have no problem taking a male in my office that works here and having that hard conversation where it's like, I feel like if I'm having that hard conversation with a female, it's like, okay, I need another person from the office sitting in, and it's like just those kind of things that you have to think about. Like it and as we progress, it's more that's going to take place, and I judge people based on their skill level of what they do. I don't care what color someone is. I don't care about the sex that they are. I don't care about any of that shit. It's like, what is their skill level that they have?
Yeah.
And when I hired in the beginning, I hired my friends.
Yeah.
Dalton was college roommate. Logan was Dre's best friend. Cody was my best friend from high school. So it's like I literally just acquired all my friends that we just hung out and we made money doing it. Like,
I couldn't imagine if one of my friends came out to me and was like, "Hey, you want to start a marketing group?"
Yeah.
I'd be like, "The fuck?"
Yeah.
But it was like when Dalton came on, like we were out golfing and it was a weekend. I remember we were on hole 7 and Dalton gets a call and he has to go deliver an oxygen tank. And I was like, I didn't want that for Dalton.
Yeah.
Like that was like something that it was like, it sucked. Like watching somebody that I'm friends with, that I care about, things like that, that I'm like, dude can't even enjoy his life on a weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like I'm really big on people enjoying their personal life and taking their personal life very serious over work. Work is secondary to your life. Like,
Really?
Yeah. I know I'm very invested in it.
Shit.
I'm not going to say
I need to take a personal day, Dane.
Yeah. Easy there, champ. But what I'm saying is, like, taking those times, like, that's why we don't work weekends. Like, I came out of a space I traded 3 years of my life for paychecks.
Yeah.
And it's like, I saw what that can do to somebody. I saw what it did to relationships, from my family to Madison to friends. I didn't have friends. Like, I had friends at the dealership and that was it.
Yeah.
Like, and I saw what that did and I was like, I want to make sure that that is not the reality of people working at MMG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that kind of goes into our next question of how are you going to make sure the track of hiring girls that get along and work very well together continues?
Yeah, me and Lorren are concerned about that.
Yeah, that's another huge disaster when it comes to hiring females, is them getting along. Because, like, my problem is, like, I mean, even with, I don't know, I speak on females as a whole, and once again, this could probably get me canceled or whatever it may happen, but I mean, Lorren might remember something I said the second day she worked at MMG, and I'm like, Lorren, I don't remember that. And girls just, like, I think they have this, like, compartment in their head that just stores, like,
We do.
I can't remember what I had for lunch last week, let alone what happened the second day Lorren started. And it's way, I can take 2 males that don't like each other and I put them in an office and I'm like, we're grown-ups, we're here for the greater vision of what we're doing. Get together and we're going to figure this the fuck out or you're gone.
Yeah.
Like, that is the conversation I can have over and over. I haven't had to have that conversation on the female forefront yet, but I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to word it the same way. So it's,
Lorren, we should act like we hate each other one day.
Yeah. So it's, I will say on the female forefront, I feel like I've been very blessed so far.
Yeah.
But I think one of my best talents that I have, probably out of anything that I can do, is I feel like I can read people well. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's why I've always been I've had people that haven't panned out, that have said the right things, that their actions show something completely different after they get within our walls. Because I'm not scared to fire people, and I think that's a lot of business owners. I think it's a disservice to the great people that do work for them, is when they let shitty people stay within the walls.
I agree.
And that is a discipline level that I have for the betterment of the company and taking care of the people that are here, is making sure that the wrong people aren't here. And I've been very blessed again on the female forefront that we've had has, for the most part, worked out pretty well. We've had a few that haven't, but I don't have any horror stories yet. I don't
Not
think.
yet.
Not yet. So that's something I want at the end of when I was talking about when I die. Like if I can keep that track record, that'd be great.
All right, now to get in the fun stuff.
Yeah, now the good questions.
Let's get in the
This is when I said I was going to start.
No more work talk.
I was going to start
fuck
answering
that.
emails. So,
Okay.
Okay. I need you to tell me your craziest girl story. Like if like a girl you met and you were like, damn, she's batshit crazy. And what'd she do?
What'd she do?
that's this kid. I was telling Bri before this started, I'm much better about thinking about what I say before I say it than she is. So I'm thinking on this, making sure I don't put my foot in my mouth and say something stupid on here. There's a good amount of them. Girls are just
Watch your mouth.
Yeah.
Watch your mouth.
It's probably when Bri said she wouldn't leave the office and she was just gonna bunker down.
Yeah.
That we couldn't fire. No. Craziest story.
Like, have you had a girl hit you or something? Like punch you in the face?
I've had a girl hit me.
Yeah?
You didn't whack her back?
No.
No. That's my 2 cents.
So we were
Whack
actually
her back.
So we were actually in school. This won't work. We were in so Dalton and I had a house on Main Street in college, and so we're at our house and there's 2 girls that were in the kitchen. Myself, Madison was sick, she was upstairs asleep. But like at that point, like when we were in college, like when I had parties, like my house was like one of the main party spots.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so we had parties all the time, and it would be filled up with people, and sometimes like I'd be studying upstairs and there'd be a big party in my house, and like, it just that was kind of the norm. And the party was over. It's probably like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and there's 2 guys, 2 girls, myself, and one of these girls is just screaming in the kitchen for no reason. And so my brother was the DD that night, so we had a designated driver for our fraternity every night. You had to sign up, like the younger classmen had to sign up for it. So my brother was DD that night. These 2 girls were just screaming, and I told her, I was like, I literally looked at her, I was like, you need to keep your voice down. I was like, Madison's upstairs asleep, and I was like, the music was off and everything. And her friend starts yelling at me. She's like, don't tell her what to do, blah, blah. I'm like, do I need to remind you guys you're in my fucking house? Like, and so I was like, you guys should just wait outside then for all I care.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's cold outside, blah, blah. And then her friend out of nowhere just smokes me, just slaps the shit out of me. And it's like, I've been in a spot, like, I've never even thought about, like, swinging on a girl. Like, I don't even look at that as, like, a fair fight, like, kind of deal. Like, I'm not a small person, so it's, so it, like, kind of stunned me for a second. I think it kind of stunned everyone in the room because we're all
Just
like,
imagine it being like, what?
yeah. And it was loud. And, like, it was a good slap. Like, and I was like, I couldn't really believe it happened. And they had woke Madison up, and before I could even like really fully register, Madison comes flying across the front of me,
my gosh.
grabs this girl, picks her up, and slams her on top of the deep freeze in my kitchen. I was like, oh hell, I don't even have to come up with something.
That
to do.
is hilarious.
And then the guy gets ready to grab Madison, and then I was
shit.
like, and this dude was a complete pansy. So I grab him by the back of his pants with one hand. I open up my door. This dude weighed maybe like 110 pounds, so it's like I wasn't going to swing on him.
Was he in the frat?
Yeah. But I open up the door and I throw him off of, like, we had like 5 stairs, and I literally threw him to the ground, and like he just biffs it right into the concrete, starts crying. He's outside crying. The girls, he's there, the 2 of the girls, they're together, they're friends, and they're both crying. So then all 3 of them end up out on the back deck, and I was like, also, to circle back around, I was like, the DD's Dre tonight, so I'm like, you guys can all fuck off and
Yeah,
walk
you're
home.
not gonna
Yeah.
fucking
And then they're
ride.
like, we're going to freeze to death out here, blah, 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 as they're wiping their tears and stuff, so I just shut the door, locked the door, and I told them to kick rocks, so. But,
That was pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was,
That's so funny Madison came down.
college was, like, just always something that, like, I went to spring break my freshman year to Panama City, and that was 7 days that was, like, never spoke about it after. It was, like, something that was just, if I ever have a daughter, she is not going on spring break. That is for sure.
Yes, she can go on spring break.
No
it's not
way.
the same anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Joel
Now
spring break
usually-
at home.
But
Did
usually,
you go to
like,
Panama City for spring break?
no, like people don't go. It's like trashy now.
Gross.
Yeah, like we went to Florida and Chicago. Like more now, it's more like any place go.
We were averaging sleeping like 2 hours a night, and it was just a complete disaster. We were there for 7 days.
Oh my gosh,
Like nothing about that sounds fun to me.
Yeah.
it sounds fun to me. That's fun.
And it's funny because I just started talking to Madison. Like, so I drove down with 4 other guys. So it was a truck of us. 5 of us drove down. I was the only freshman in our fraternity that went. I was down there with all seniors. And we were scheduled for 5 days to stay there. 3 of the guys left on like day 4. They were just done.
Done.
And then the guy that I was with, a girl that he knew, was down there from around the Kansas City area. And she was there with 3 of her friends, and they totaled their car in Panama. So when I was talking to Madison, I was like, yeah, we're driving back. We got 4 girls with us, too. And she's
my.
like, what? I was like, yeah, crazy story. I was like, they totaled their car when they're down here. They're
you-
coming back. They're like, they're paying for all of our gas and like all this other stuff. They're paying for all of our food. And at that point, I was broke as they come. So I was like, yeah. I made it like 4 days, and I had to go to Walmart and wait in line for a money order from my mom so I could stay down
Oh my god.
Did you go to Club La Vila?
there. I couldn't tell you which. There was is it Spinnaker's?
I don't know.
I think Spinnaker's was like the one that was right next to our building. It was a 3-level, because I wasn't even 21 yet. But I was just rolling in everywhere. It was disaster.
That's so fun. Would you go back if you could?
No.
No,
Younger
not
days,
even
yeah.
one day.
No. That was, there was just way too much that took place there.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Okay. Let's see. Next question. How many times did you shoot your shot with Madison before she finally gave you
Did
the
she
time
text
of
you
day?
that?
How many times?
So I'm not going to go into the full story about all of it, but it was a few times. I also had a very different technique of like how I picked up girls and talked to girls in college.
How was that? What was your like move?
He was mean.
I was not mean. I just good looking girls in college, like everybody's like always. You can go to a bar and a good looking girl at a bar is gonna get 20, 30 compliments in a night.
Yeah.
Like it's just something that people are gonna come. Oh, you're good looking. Blah blah blah. Like, it's like how are you different in the space?
Okay.
It's like one of my moves. I'd go to the bar and I'd order shots for everyone, and I'd pick out like the girl that if I wanted to talk to her, I'd just give a shot to everyone but her.
Why?
And then I'd just go sit down, and then they would come over later, like 10 out of 10 times, like they would come over and they're like, why do you buy me a shot up there? You buy everybody a shot. And I'm like, oh, my bad, I didn't even see you. Like,
That's so mean.
I wouldn't say it's mean, but it was like, it reversed the roles pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like, and
She was the one chasing you now.
yeah, it was just like, I think I look at business as a game. Like when I used to be in college, I'm like, it wasn't hard. Like, if you just knew what you were doing and like knew how to be different than the next person, like, and it was also like, I don't know, I did pretty well in school, like, except for one semester was a little rough. But when Madison actually did not like me a whole lot.
Were you a cliche frat boy?
No, it's like I was running around in a truck, cowboy boots, jeans.
Did you have a Navy comforter?
No, my comforter when I got to college.
Was your mattress on the floor?
No. So
No, it's Dane.
our
But-
dorms were lofted.
So, but didn't you have a house at Dalton?
Yeah.
Was it ever just on the floor? Or like your
No.
bed and box spring on the floor?
So my room was very clean, very organized all the time. I had like a really nice bed set from Nebraska Furniture Mart. Like I hung my 65-inch TV up in every room. I like built in a wall. You couldn't see any cords. Like
Okay. Did you have
What?
jerseys or flags hung up on your wall?
no.
Okay.
Wow, green flag.
No, my room was very tidy. Like I was always.
Did you have red satin sheets that
No, that was Trey. That was just Trey.
Trey goes, Bri, I had red silk sheets. I
Yeah.
go, oh, you did?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
no. I shot my shot with Madison multiple times, but
So shooting your shot, like, would you try to ask her out on a date and she'd be like, no, fuck you?
No, I try to ask her to dance. So, like, the thing was, like, our fraternity house was filled with, so there was like 90 to 99 guys in the fraternity.
Yeah.
We had parties every single weekend, and we set those up, like, so my freshman year I became social chair at SIG Ep, and it was like, I was the first freshman to get that. But I went and knocked doors for every single freshman girl knew who I was that fast. And because I just go knock doors and I'm like, hey, party at SIG Ep this weekend. Hey, party at SIG Ep this weekend. Like, just go through all the dorms on the campus. And, like, I had no problem doing it. And I started helping a lot of girls with homework. So I did math homework for a lot of girls. And then you come by my room and there'd be like 10 girls sitting in there and just be like doing math homework for everyone. I was like,
gosh.
And I don't know. Once I became social chair, I also went and talked to all the sororities each week.
Yeah.
So I come in, and of course they have us all dressed up like I'm about to sell insurance or something. And I come in and talk to all the sororities, tell them about all of our events going on, everything we're doing philanthropy-wise and involvement that they could do and different things like that. So Madison,
Was Madison in a sorority?
Yeah, she was a Phi Mu.
Okay.
And what she doesn't like to tell everyone, she likes to emphasize on me shoot my shot and her saying no. But every single time she would be like with friends, and I would ask her to dance. And I mean, it's just a game of numbers. Like, it's really not that hard. So I would ask her to dance, and she'd be like, I'm not dancing with you, blah, blah, blah. And her friend would be like, I'm like, how about you? And she's like, yeah. And like, it pissed her off quite a few times, so.
That's funny.
Okay. Next question. This is kind of worded weird, so tell me if I need to reword the question. If girls are not wanting to be labeled as a stereotypical girl, what trait should they have or should they not have, in your opinion?
What trait?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what makes a stereotypical girl?
I think the biggest trait I look at, like, that I always, like, saw that stood out a lot in females was confidence. Like, I feel like a lot of times, not in a bad way, but you could tell girls that just didn't have confidence. And it's like, everyone looked at me for a long time that I just had this, like, crazy high level of confidence. And for a long time I didn't. Like, it was something that people saw that from the outside, but there was a lot of things I wasn't confident about. I feel like I've gotten more confident as time has went on.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of insecurities I had from a lot of different things growing up and things like that. And I think women wear it on their sleeve a lot easier, to where it's like, I struggled. I'm not gonna say struggle, but it was something that I could see really quickly, and it was like a big turnoff for me. It's like,
yeah,
when a female has that confidence, they carry like a aura around them, like when they're in a room that you can just tell, like, and it's that's kind of, I think, one of the things that Madison's like one of those people that I know she's never needed me, and vice versa. Like, we've always ran very well. Like, we run a lot better together. But I've also known she'd do it all herself too.
Yeah.
Like, she's always carried that, and that was something I think was why I gravitated towards her so much. Was from a personality side, was like, she didn't need me. Like,
were you so excited when you got her? I could just see Dane, like, in his room, like, giggling and jumping up and down.
My deal was, at that point, it was when we went out on our first date and everything. It was, so I actually had a cardinal rule too, and which I messed it up one time, which was with Madison. So, like, my cardinal rule is I never sent, like, Facebook, like, friend request to anybody or anything like that.
Yeah.
They had to send it to you?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it was just like, that was my thing. I was like, I feel like you come from a needy position right out the gate. Like, so it was just like my rule. One night we got the party at the house got busted, actually. Cops came, everything. We all had to leave. So I was drunk. Madison was drunk. So we both left. We went to another house party at another SIG Ep satellite house, and don't really remember a whole lot there. So, but the next day I get up and it's like, Madison Harps confirmed your Facebook request. And I was like, damn. I was like, what am I doing? I was like, I really botched that. And I was like, so then later that day, she sent me a message, because I guess we ended up at the station together.
Station.
So we had a station, was like a grocery store on campus that was open 24 hours a day.
Okay.
So
That's
I
nice.
guess we took the DD to the station and I got her chocolate milk and everything. I guess I covered it. That was on financial aid, so I was a baller at the station. When I went to the station, I was rich. But I guess I bought her like a milk and like a chocolate milk and some other stuff. And she woke up the next morning, and her roommate, she's like, "Where did I get this like chocolate milk and this other stuff?" She's like, "Dane Moss like brought you home last night." And I also had like a deal was like, I very much would rather like females come back a second time. Like Madison was drunk off her ass. I took her home. And then I was like, so same. And on my side. So after that, she had messaged me, and then I told her that she owed me. So I had to take her. She had to go on a date with me. So it was kind of game over from there.
Wow.
Okay.
So sweet. Okay, where are we at?
Next question.
Oh, if you could banish one girl behavior, what would it be and why?
Banish?
Like a cliche,
I think I know
99%
this
of
one.
all girls do this, but it absolutely drives you nuts. You wish you could just like banish it from all existence within girls.
That's a hard one. Because I feel like anything I say, I'm going to get ridiculed for.
Just say it.
Yeah, just say it.
Go on.
Give me like some like examples. of
Okay,
something.
what I thought of that you were going to say is attitude.
No, but there are like, I don't think that's like all females. Like, I got PMSing from the peanut gallery. Actually, I will say that like, I think a lot of females on the time of the month, like it is a bipolar. Like,
It's
and
bad.
I haven't experienced it, so it's like, I mean, you take it what it's worth. And
Literally-
you have people saying like, well, you haven't had it, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, so,
Literally 2 days ago, Jerry messaged, "Is everything okay?" And I go, he goes, "Bri, you need to learn breathing techniques." I go, what do I do about PMSing? What the fuck do I do about
You got some
PMSing?
advice for that
Yeah.
one?
yeah, you know what?
And he
Actually,
goes, "Well, I don't know."
Actually, if I manage that, that'd probably be a gift to you guys too. So I think that could come off as a win that I managed that to help us out and you guys win. So it's just a really
It's a win-win.
a win-win all the way around.
That is true.
Yeah.
Okay.
So PMSing.
PMSing.
Yeah. I don't like also nagging. Like I feel like a lot of girls, some girls are like naggers.
Give an example.
Me.
Like what's nagging?
I don't know, just complaining about like everything. Like I see it in like relationships that like I see like guys that just like their wife complains to them about like everything that they do. And I'm
Like if they're on a date, like, "Oh my gosh, it's so hot. My feet hurt." Like that.
like that
just
or like
negative.
I even see it from like people that are like together. Like I tell Madison all the time, I'll watch it, I'm like, I go, if anybody treated me like that, I would leave them like in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And I see these dudes that are like caged dogs that
Yeah.
like are just told every single day. Like I tell Madison, like if I want to go golf, I'm going golf, and like if I want to go have cigars with the guys, I'm going to have cigars with the guys, and like it's the same way. It goes both ways though.
Yeah.
And it's like last night she wanted to go. Her friend got a new house and stuff. She's like, we're gonna go over and have drinks over there and celebrate a new house. I was like, great, enjoy. Like I don't tell
Yeah.
her what to do. She doesn't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And it was funny last night. I called her and I was like joking with her. I was like, yeah, Dre and I are thinking about going to Hot Country Nights. And she's like, okay, have fun. I was like,
Oh.
I was like, you're not gonna blow up. She's like, when have I ever told you what you can and can't do? I was like, fair. But it's like I thought I was gonna like trigger her to get her like fired up, and it didn't work. But
Yeah, we talk about that like opposite way a lot on this podcast is like, and it definitely goes both ways. Like having a significant other that controls the other one's life is just like miserable.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if looking from the outside in. I can't imagine what it's like in that situation.
it's like you don't feel free. Like I don't ever feel like I'm like going at Madison asking her
Yeah.
for something.
Yeah.
And
It's like
both
it's
ways.
one thing to get her input, be like appreciate their input, but not telling them what they can and can't do,
Yeah.
or vice versa. Like
Yeah. I think it would become an
Asking
issue
permission.
if you're going golfing every fucking day
Yeah.
and like not doing anything else. Then that's like
Which I feel like Madison and I
Gotta
both run in
balance.
positions that like we handle everything that needs to be handled all the time. And it's like, it's not like she has a family event. I'm like, I'm going golfing instead.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we're very respectful of each other's time and calendars and everything like that on like what we're doing. But it's like, I mean, I do a lot in a week, from drinks and cigars with different people to networking events to all these different podcasting. I mean, but she doesn't give me a hard time about it. And it's like when she does things, like I don't give her a hard time about it. It's like, I don't think your life should be controlled by any other person. Like when you're with somebody, you should get to enjoy life, but you're still free.
Till Madison pops out a baby.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what life looks like after this.
Okay. What is your biggest red flag in a girl?
Mine would be like girls being dirty, like girls,
hygiene.
like hygiene. Like
Okay.
there's like girls in college and stuff. Like there's even like girls like everyone knew that were like very attractive and stuff. And like I'd be somewhere and they'd like be like talking to me and I'm like, you stink. I'm like, and it's just like the biggest and that's like me being a hygiene person.
Yeah.
Like girls that just don't take that serious, like it drives me up a wall. Like I just don't get it. Like the last thing I ever want to do is like if I was to get in bed with somebody that stunk.
Yeah. Okay, next question. How come you allegedly like half-shaved heads
On women.
on girls?
So he likes the
The buzz cut.
buzz cut on one
I think
side
it takes a
or
very,
underneath.
very attractive girl to be able to do that.
Confidence?
I think it comes back to the confidence deal too. It's like I think it takes a fucking baller ass girl to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And be able to rock it, like, and you just see that's like.
What if Madison comes home with a half-shaved head?
I mean, I'd be pumped. Like, but
I don't
like,
think Madison could pull that off.
Oh, she definitely could. My deal also is like I love the element of surprise. Like that's why I like tattoos. I like all this shit. Like there's nothing I love more than when I roll up to like Capitol or Eddie V's or some shit to valet, and it's like you have some 60-year-old dude out there in a suit that's been working his whole entire life to get to that spot, and they're like, "How is this dude that's young that's coming in wearing a hat, T-shirt, has tattoos, has the watches, the car, the whole thing?" Like they don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like I don't want people that fucking understand me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So it's like I always like live for that, and it's I think the half shaved head, like when girls do it, and like if Madison rolled up in a brand new Escalade, just absolute smoke show with half her heads, you know, the curiosity of people, they'd be like, "What?" I think it's
Where
legit.
did that come from? Like, did you see a celebrity where you were like as a kid, and you're like, she's hot, like, and she has half a shaved head?
I don't know where it came from. I just like
I'm trying to think of like any like Ruby Rose.
We might have to
She-
bloop this, but isn't it the Vivid girl?
vivid.
Tara.
Oh no.
Oh.
No, but
No, this was way before I ever.
No.
But like Tara is like one of those girls too that I feel like she just has like a confidence level to her.
like, do
and
you
it's-
think Ruby Rose is attractive?
I don't know. If you ask
I'll show
me
you.
who people are, that's
Is
way
that
past me.
Tyga's? Is it Tyga? Tyga's baby mama?
Oh, I don't know. Hang on, let me find a good photo of her.
No, I don't know. I think it comes back to that confidence thing. That, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I feel like Ruby Rose was like one of the first like to be like, she was tatted up, beautiful, half-shaved head.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like when there's very few people that can pull it off, and
I feel like you have to have the attitude or like personality too.
Like
with
a
it.
bad bitch
Yeah.
personality for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it makes you a bad bitch. Maybe that's why they're a bad bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if who was your childhood crush?
I'm trying to think. I feel like that's something that like girls focus on. I don't feel like that's something that like I think
Really?
guys is probably different all the time. I don't think there was like childhood crush.
Like you're as a kid, you're like either watching shows or like musicians or something. You're like,
I didn't really listen to any like what we listened to as kids was way different than probably what most kids listen to. So there weren't really any female singers in that forefront.
Pink.
I think like Britney Spears and like before she went fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then Paris Hilton was like coming up like all over everything. Like
You didn't
guess I
think
just had a type that
her
Madison.
like dumb personality was stupid?
I think at that age, you're not really like looking I'm like, whoa, her personality just really doesn't hit the mark.
Just like she's hot.
Or Jessica Simpson and Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yep.
So that
that's you saw her in the jean short, booty shorts, the tied
you
up.
weren't really worried about their personality side or education level at all at that point.
Okay. What about like, was there any like moto girls? No.
So that's that female motocross, like never, there's been like some side of it, but it's been a pretty male dominated sport for a long time.
Yeah.
Because it's something like there were some girls that like, I forgot the girl's name. She was deaf actually. Phenomenal on a motorcycle, but it's like even at the highest level, like if you become the girl in that space, it's not a very high, like.
Did you ever watch NASCAR?
Not really.
No. Like, I feel like when Danica Patrick became a NASCAR driver, like she was, and she's hot too.
Yeah.
Like, okay. All right.
What's your definition of a fuckboy?
What's my definition of it?
Yeah.
Oh, I got Dre peeping over the fucking wall over there. I don't know. I watch a lot of these like younger kids out there right now. And I think the goofy ass haircuts that all these like kids have that are down in their face.
Oh yeah.
They look like bananas on their forehead. Like, I just think like I get really frustrated at the gym with them too. They come in there. There's these dudes that they weigh like 140 pounds soaking wet. They wear wife beaters everywhere. Sweatpants with like slippers to the gym. And I'm like, oh, and then they're like trying to like hit on girls and stuff. And it's just like, I think this new day and age of this like fitness world is where I kind of see it.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like these dudes that just think that they're like everything that aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
they all just want to like be an influencer when it comes to like gym. Like they film everything. And it's like, if you want to like film your workout, you literally only need like a 5 to 10 second snippet of your exercise. But some of these people are filming their whole fucking workout.
yeah.
The whole thing and carrying their tripod around with them.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've never seen like people
Yeah,
film.
it actually like kind of blows my mind. But whatever. I don't know. I think they're kind of.
Those are jam fuckboys.
Yeah. Okay. So do you consider like a guy that is having one night stands all the time, is that a fuckboy? Just hooking up?
It could be depending on, I mean, how those deals are negotiated.
Okay.
Okay,
So like
yeah.
the girl has to be on the same page that it's just a hookup?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like when false pretext is given off, I feel like that's very much kind of runs that line.
What about like ghosting?
Like, are you talking about what you do to everybody?
I don't think I ghost. Like,
What is
fuck?
your definition of ghost?
like, please let me hear
like
your
I just don't
definition of it.
respond when there's
I
nothing
just
left
don't
to
respond.
say.
Like, that's not
when there's
ghosting.
nothing left to say, it's like,
Start another conversation.
what are you doing? What's up? I feel like I'm in middle school. So I gotta like,
So the only way I'd like ghost like before Madison, the only way I'd like ghost girls was like I was very upfront on exactly what was going on, and then when they didn't,
Did you
follow
ever were you ever on a date and it was like you wanted to get the fuck out, so you just dipped? Or you came up with some excuse to just leave?
I'm a way nicer person than that. I could not do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Lorren told me to do that.
I told her that's an option.
I mean, I think from a, I don't know. I just.
I
Feel
guess
like
from a guy's standpoint, that'd be.
I just
shitty
feel
on
like
a guy.
human to human, I couldn't do that. Like, no way. Like if somebody's like,
What
put
if
them-
they stunk so
Dude,
bad?
You know, that would just obliterate. That would just absolutely obliterate their confidence forever.
Hey,
And I would have that as like a guilty like
Yeah.
like that would be on me.
What if a girl shit her pants in the middle of the day and you were like,
I mean, if somebody legitimately shit their pants, I'd call them an ambulance or something. Like, I feel like there's probably a bigger problem that if you're having a uncontrollable pants shitting, that you gotta. I don't.
oh my God.
I'm not gonna say I've had that happen.
Okay, here's a situational question. What if you're on a date with this girl? You really like her, things are going really well, but she does shit her pants on your date. How do you recover? And do you just ignore that happened, or do you just say, what do you do?
I mean, I would be pretty intrigued to know if anyone's ever been in this situation, actually, because this would be a huge hypothetical that's never happened.
Like, what if Madison would have shit her pants on your first date?
We probably wouldn't be married now.
Oh my gosh.
No, I've been with Madison for 12 years, and she's never shit her pants once at dinner, actually. So I haven't had to experience that. So I guess that's a plus side for me.
Oh man, that's so funny.
That was really funny. Okay. So.
Actually, be fair, anybody I've ever went to dinner, that's never happened.
You've never had so much.
Yeah, I don't think that's
family
never happened.
dinners, like female
Actually, it
dinners.
has happened. My dad.
Your dad.
Why would you put... Bri, think before you speak.
Oh man, I won't blast
He's
it.
gonna call your ass out
Yeah.
after he listens. Okay. I feel like that needs to be a question that we ask when we have Dre on.
Yeah.
What? This shitting your pants?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So on this podcast, it's obviously called Not Girls Girls. We've told multiple times like our definition of Not Girls Girls and why we decided to start this podcast. What do you think a not guys guy looks like?
Not guy's guy. I don't know. I feel like...
I think of like guy code,
Okay.
like breaking guy code, but I don't even know what guy code is.
I mean, for sure, one guy code would be like not hooking up with your best friend's sister.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked.
Like that's pretty guy code,
Yeah.
I would assume.
Yeah.
Or like not saying something about their mom.
Yeah. Would one be like your best friend dates one of your exes? Would that bother you?
No, that wouldn't like...
Yeah.
I
feel like that
probably
doesn't
hang out with
bother.
them all the time, but like...
Yeah.
As a
What
couple,
if like your brother? What if Dre would have dated an ex? Is that bro code?
my deal too is like I didn't have a whole lot of like real serious relationships before Madison,
Yeah.
so it's like
I know a lot of this has to be hypothetical.
yeah, I feel like my situation's a little different.
Yeah,
So-
that's how I am 90% of the time.
I've been off market for a long time.
Yeah.
So, and before that, I think a lot of times people are like, "Oh, I've had like 2 or 3 serious relationships." I'm like, "Yeah, I ran a whole different lifestyle before I met Madison." And
Did you have a serious girlfriend throughout high school, or a long relationship in high
like
school?
what would you classify as long term?
Over a year?
No.
Nothing over a year.
6 months.
Maybe close.
Did you have a girlfriend going into college?
No.
Did you have a girlfriend graduating high school?
I switched girlfriends like right at that point. So
Okay. So you graduated high school and you broke up with a girl and started dating another chick?
yeah,
Okay. But then were single by the time you went to college?
yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I had some commitment issues for a little while.
Okay. Okay.
I enjoyed being free, being in
Yeah.
control of what I wanted to do, and I think that was probably my biggest fear, like all the time of everything. And I think it was a fear I had with Madison for a really long time was just me having freedom. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys get stuck in a trap and then they end up losing that freedom and they never have it again. And it's like I think having that is one of the most important things to a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Also, is just I think my commitment problem was watching that. I wasn't going to let somebody sit there and tell me what to do every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Okay, this is one of my questions.
Yeah, you asked this one.
oh,
What
geez.
conspiracy theories do you believe? Like you actually believe?
That I actually believe? I don't know. This would be a great question for Dre because Dre watches like every conspiracy theory thing online. So I don't really watch any of that shit. Like he'd probably tell you everything about the Illuminati and everything that he thinks that they're doing. And I think our government's corrupt as hell, and I think there's a lot that goes on there. I don't know if that comes into a conspiracy or not, but I think the government controls a lot more things than people know. And I think people put blinders on and they listen so blindly to a higher power, and they don't do research and they don't learn, and they are very uneducated. But it's like, I think that when the facts are in front of you, you got to see them. So it's like, I think conspiracy wise though, I don't really, if there's not really facts to back it up, then I don't really get too like in the weeds about it.
I think the government one.
I mean, you could probably have a 2-hour podcast with Dre about that. Dre's gonna have a whole different lineup of facts than I'm gonna have. You're just gonna have to fact check him if any of it's right.
Well, I believe everything on TikTok and it's all false. So.
But I think it's easier to question stuff that happens now, whereas like history, it's like that's what we were taught in school. So we were just assumed we were told the truth or like told like what actually happened. But now there's like conspiracy theories on like if the moon landing actually happened or like.
Well, it's like I just think about so many things of like how information is put in place.
Yeah.
That what we learned in school was some dude 100 years ago that jotted down the way that he thought it happened.
Right. Yeah. And then just like published a textbook about it.
Yeah. And it's like, I sit there and like, I mean, we could publish like at this point, we could literally like at our size, we could publish however we wanted the beginning of MMG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we could have worked in a warehouse. Like we could literally make this story whatever we want.
Yeah. That's crazy.
True.
That's the crazy part is like
that's weird to think
and
about.
you can jot it down and it's just like one person's lie could be someone else's truths 10 years from now.
Yeah. It's so like, strange to think about. It's just like we were just taught out of
I don't like
history class, you just have your
book
modern history textbook
made from Andrew James.
From whenever like but it's like I don't know, I just look at a lot of that stuff that the line of what I went in college was I liked it because there was like set answers to it and there was a lot more truth to it, so it wasn't as much of I don't know. I look at history and I mean there's a lot of it that there are very hard facts behind, but it's also like I always take things to wait on what I can see and the truths that I can see in it day to day of what's happening, and I think a lot of that is the truths that we believe could possibly be a lie from something. I have no earthly idea.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
If you ever have Dalton on, then you can talk about all the history side of things.
That is true.
Yeah.
Next question. Have you ever called a girl by the wrong name?
Yes, for sure.
What'd she say?
So it was actually, there's like one incident that Madison knows a story. And there was a girl I was talking to all evening at the fraternity house. This girl rolls in, and I'm talking to her like right when she gets there. And I'd seen her somewhere on campus. And I was like, you should come by SIG Ep this weekend, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, yeah, for sure. Like, super good-looking girl. She shows up. We're talking all night, dancing, taking shots at the bar and everything, blah, blah, blah. And it was weird because, like, I never said her name once all night. Like, I never asked her name, I don't think, like, when we first met. And we both got on the deck. I was like, hey, you want to, like, come back to the dorm with me and stuff? And she goes, what's my name? And just, like, off the cuff, like, not even waiting a second, I was like, Tori. And she's like, no, I'm close. I was like, well, I tried. And
so then she didn't go back.
No. She left. I went back down to the basement to recoup and go back after it. So
I've done that before, you guys. I've asked people, what's my name?
So I had a deal like early days of college. I didn't like really call girls by their names at all.
Yeah.
I just had like,
hey.
well, I had like just things that like I called like girls turbo or whatever like I never called somebody by like their name.
Yeah, turbo.
And Madison's like, she was like, why do you? Which the other funny thing was I dated a lot of Madisons, so it was
that was an easy one.
My joke with Madison was when I met her, it was an easy name that I could remember. So she didn't really find it too funny.
Probably not.
I think she probably still doesn't find it funny.
Probably not. Okay, Next one.
What is your love language?
Remind me of all of them. I know touch is one of
So
them.
there's two. There's how you give love and how you receive love. There is physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation, gift receiving and giving, and acts of service.
So I'm really good at showing love by gifts.
Okay.
And then I'm not very good with words of affirmation. I know that's one I work on a lot.
Okay.
Touch, pretty well show that one. That's also like mine.
That's your number one, how you receive love?
Yeah.
Touch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like
Like-
that's like 99% guys
Yeah.
is physical touch.
But it's like also like to me, like gift giving to me like just doesn't like
Like to you. Yeah.
Like that's something that like when Madison and I first met, like Christmas, I go crazy on Christmas. Like I love Christmas. Like I don't really give a shit about what I get for Christmas. I just love like giving to just like people in general. Like and what were the other ones?
Acts of service.
Acts of service. This is one that Madison and I probably have the most like disagreement on
Okay.
because she is very much acts of service to people, which I don't really.
What would acts of service, like cooking dinner or something?
Yeah, so like,
Loading the dishwasher, like cleaning or like.
your Madison's probably going to be the most acts of service person you'll ever meet, and she found somebody that like that is something that I appreciate those things, but that's I also like look at it as I'll pay cleaning people to come in and clean the house. I'll go drop all my laundry off at Pride Cleaners. Like I've very much of all pushed like efficiency all the time and like how efficient I am in life. So I'm really good at figuring out where, I mean, I can go buy all my food. I can DoorDash food. I can afford to do that all the time. So the acts of service of the laundry, the cooking, the things like that don't move the needle a ton for me. And like, she knows that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I work really hard at trying to tell her I really do appreciate those things. Like, but I work a lot with her too as like, how can she most effectively use her time?
Yeah.
That's a back and forth. So
Okay. The only one you didn't touch on is quality time.
Quality time, I'm gonna say I'm not the best at that.
Yeah.
It's something I need to be better at. I'm very bad about when I have a very addictive personality. I think that it's a curse and a blessing. Makes it to where I feel I do very well in business because of that. But it's also I feel that Madison reaps the consequences of that a lot of times. So we have conversations about how I pull myself out of business and because quality time I look at as like fully shutting off and giving somebody your time.
That's where it gets difficult when you're married and you have been with someone for so long. Because like Ricky and I are in the same boat as you and Madison. We've been together for 12 years. Like you have to still make that a priority even being together for so long. It's like even if you go home, you go to bed with each other every single night, like still making the time to make it a little bit different than just your daily night at home.
Which I know a lot of people that have like date night set and they have terrible relationships and they've like always had these like nights and like we spend quality time with each other. I'm like, there's a difference of what quality time really is.
Yeah.
That I could be in a shit mood, or I'm going to say I'm one that is pretty good at controlling my mood all the time. But it's like, Matt and I could go out and I could have 500 things happen at work. My mind be 20 other places. And I'm not going to say that's quality time.
Yeah.
Like, and we have a lot of, I feel like Matt and I are very good about talking about these things and having these conversations about what it is that both of us need. And it doesn't come out in it's not an argument when we have those conversations, but it's like we've had to talk about like quality time. She's like, you're doing all this stuff. And it's like, I get it. I recognize it. I'm not going to say I'm always the fastest to fix it immediately. I just know it's there. I know I need to fix it. It's in my forefront of vision, and it's like, how do I do that with everything I have going on.
Yep.
Or not neglecting other people. And it's like,
Yeah.
so it's been moving like where I move my gym time. Like right now, a lot of times where I'm going to the gym at 5:45. One of the reasons I moved that was when I got up at 3:30, I went to the gym and I got home and I was getting ready. Was when I was getting home when Madison was leaving.
Yeah.
I get ready, I head to work to where we actually didn't even see each other in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, so now we're getting up early, but we're getting ready together to go to the gym. And then we get back from the gym at the same time. And then we're talking and everything the whole time we're getting ready in the morning.
Yeah.
To where it gives us another, but there's some mornings too, like this morning, she had all this stuff that she wanted to talk about. And I was like, I need to be at work at 9. But this morning we were talking and stuff, and I was just like, I gave her 30 minutes and talked with her and everything. She's like, don't you need to be at work? I was like, I don't have any meeting on my calendar this morning. And it was nice, like,
Yeah.
to sit there and get to talk to her about those things. And she had 100% of my undivided attention. And I think it's always a work in progress. You're never going to be perfect at any of them. It's just knowing that I know that she needs that. I know I'm not the best at it. I know I need to get better at it. And then we just keep moving forward.
I feel like you guys had such a busy year this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that we've been busy for year after year after year.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing in business, like in all these different things, when you think that there's just like light at the end of the tunnel, that all of a sudden life's
Just
not going to be busy.
magically, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no, it's like we're busy now, then all of a sudden here in the next 2 or 3 years, everyone's going to start having babies and stuff. Then all of a sudden you would think, and then we're going to be like, shit, now we're like 10 times more busy than we
Right.
thought we were. Then they're going to grow up and we're going to have like baseball games and football games and all this
Yeah.
other stuff. And it's like, I don't think life ever gets like, I don't think you're going to hit a level where you're just not busy. I think you have to be proactive to understand how to control your time.
Yep.
And that's what I talk with Madison a lot about, is like, I feel like I'm better at that than she is, where I'm very much the controller of my time. I used to not be, and I feel like we've kind of flip-flopped.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So you give love with gift giving. That's how you give love.
I love buying things for people.
I like receiving.
So then what was how do you receive love? Physical touch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So we've talked about this a little bit on this podcast before, about like, for some dumb reason, like love languages, understanding each other's love languages has kind of become like this taboo thing that people think it's just like foo-foo shit. Like, do you think it's important?
I think it's something that too many people get hyper-focused on it.
Okay.
I think it's something that you need to understand, and you can. I think there for a little bit, Madison was a little hyper-focused on it, but it's like, I think then you start picking people apart, and it's like, I was watching a thing this last week, and it was talking about the 80-20 rule in a relationship, that you find that perfect person, they're going to be 80% of everything you want. That thinking that you're going to go find somebody that's 100% exactly the way that you want is insane. And it's like, I look at that, you can have that 80%, but then it's, if you're hyper focused on those things, that what you want all the time, that person doesn't fit that perfect mold, then you're going to go looking for what you think you're going to find somewhere. And it's like, I'm also going to say there's people that are in relationships that are complete fucking disasters that need to be out of them for sure. I'm not saying every relationship is fixable. And also, in no way, shape, or form am I a relationship expert of teaching or telling people how to do it. I'm just speaking on my behalf. But I think that when you get so focused on that, I think it can take away from maybe the great characteristics that you have in another area of that.
Yeah.
And it's Madison in the early days, like, she doesn't really, I think she's gotten more into the gift giving side, but for a long time she just didn't really like care about that much, but she knew that was like what just, like, I wanted to do it so bad. Like, she knew that she's like, she goes, you have so much energy in it. And she's like, and you're so excited for it all the time. And she's like, like Christmas, like, she's like, the first couple Christmases I was with you, she was like, it was the most uncomfortable thing. Because like, I got more than like her whole entire family got her and everything. It's like, and I started like 2 months out, and I'd be like, everywhere I go, I'm like, what can I get Madison? What can I get Madison? I was like, and she was like, it made me uncomfortable. But she's like, now she's like, I see, and she's like, I look at it too as like when you become a father. She's like, I can't wait to like set a house up for Christmas and like do all that. Like,
Yeah.
But my brother and I got that all grown up. Like, we were very fortunate that that's what it was like. I'm like, there's excitement that I remember coming down as a kid. Like, Christmas morning, I knew that Santa came and it was going to be
Yeah.
a full show.
Huge thing. Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. I think focusing too much on certain areas, I think, can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because then you pick someone apart. That I look at Madison, that she has a ton of amazing characteristics and traits. That those are the things I hyper focus on. I let her be great at those, and it's like we work on other things. And
For sure. I do think it's like important to understand what your significant other's way of receiving love is, because I mean, ultimately, if you aren't willing to give that, then they're never gonna like actually receive love from you, or like feel like they're receiving love from you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that balance of like, if your number one way of receiving love is physical touch, but Madison like refuses to ever give you physical touch, like that's never gonna work.
Yeah.
Like
It's gonna build up.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right.
We might already know this, but what would be the biggest deal breaker?
biggest deal breaker.
Wait, hang on, keep going. Of these, what would be the biggest deal breaker? A girl who doesn't brush her teeth, doesn't shave her armpits and legs, or always has a hint of BO?
Like all three of them?
No, you gotta pick one.
That's a deal breaker. Okay.
Yeah, which one of those three would be like, absolutely not?
I'd probably say brushing the teeth. Like, I'm a huge, like, teeth person.
Okay.
And same thing with, like, eyes. Like, it was just one of those things that, like, I told Mass, I'm like, I'm a weirdo. Like, it is what it is. But it's just, like, I could not talk to girls that had, like, bad teeth. Mm-hmm. And it's, like, I think that's a huge, like...
Okay.
So you'd have a girl with hairy armpits and legs and BO.
I mean, that's a lose on all three.
Dane said it. Dane said it.
You were ready for me to pick one to target me on the Knicks. At least I took her out somewhere and she was wearing a shirt, at least not everyone would know.
No one would see it. She'd have to wear sleeves and long pants for the whole time.
She would dress like she's Amish everywhere we go, but they'd be like, dang, she's got some nice teeth.
Okay. Last question.
Last and final question.
What are you gonna do if Not Girls Girls gets as big as Call Her Daddy and everyone knows about it? Will you still admit that it is housed under MFG?
Yeah. It's I don't know. I very much, I think, in the workspace, I think having personality, I think, is a huge thing. I think having a voice is a huge thing, and I think that's something that's been taken away in our world. And it's, everyone has their own personality. Everyone should be able to show that. And I think this 100% is going to blow up. That's why I was 100% okay investing in it. Mm-hmm. And it's investing in all these different podcasts that we're doing, investing in the people inside the walls.
Yeah.
That business owners are most of the time sitting on an island of their own. Mm-hmm. And it's everyone, if there's not a direct ROI day one that they can see, then they're not going after it. And I look at what this is, and I look at the traction it has already, and it will be big. And it's like, you guys stay consistent with it. Wow. And it's like, I also look at, it teaches discipline. Mm-hmm. The office, you guys have figured out really, really quick that doing a podcast every week is a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, it's coming up with questions, going through all that stuff. Like, there's so much that goes into it. And it's the podcast. I also like when we go meet people and the overall exposure of what the company is becoming is big. Mm-hmm. And I don't think a lot of people even realize that. Dre and I went to get cigars last night. This guy's like, I watch you guys online. It's amazing, blah, blah, blah. And it's like everywhere we're going, it's turning into that.
Yeah. Well, I was at Hot Country Nights last night.
Of course,
and some guy came and he was like, oh, you work for Moss Marketing Group? I'm like, yeah.
But it's just like, I look at that as, that's cool that people know people that work here.
Yeah, it is cool.
That I think I want people to have that confidence. I want people to have that feeling of winning and having that for themselves, that it's like, yeah, it's powered by Moss Marketing Group and we'll throw dollars into it and everything like that. And I don't expect any of these to start with and have the idea of them not blowing up.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a full-size short bus in here that's painted and everything else. That in the beginning, I was building it for a podcast on my own, and I was like, you know what? They can use it. Like, great, go for it. Like, and I don't know, I look at those things as that's the investments that we're making in our future. And the other cool thing I look at is like when I think of the M3 podcast, the coolest part of it is going to be one day when we're all gone, these are going to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
When we're in the fucking dirt.
Yep. Somebody can still go listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have a question. What if, like, someone tried to steal us from MMG?
I hope that those are things that happen, and it's something that, I mean, we've already experienced it to this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I look at when you have a talent, people want a talent. Mm-hmm. We have to keep building the culture and everything else to where people don't want to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's if somebody leaves, that's me sitting at the drawing board saying I didn't build something correctly.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes there's enticing financial offers, and there's people that can't think the long term. And it's I look at it as if somebody wants to think short term and then make short term plays. You play small, you win small. Mm-hmm. But it's also if people make that exit, it's not burning a bridge, but it's them punching their ticket that they had to work here.
Yeah.
That is no longer valid.
Yeah.
And that will be for the lifetime of this being a thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I look at it as if at that time you crossed me and you decided that I wasn't the fit for it.
Well, you had your shot, you know?
Yeah. I gave you opportunity. You didn't see the opportunity. And in 5 years when we have the fantasy factory and everything like that, it seems like a better opportunity at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot easier to see now. Yeah, a lot easier to see now. When we're on the jets and everything like that, now you can see it. Like,
now you
get it. But you didn't want to be on the ride to get us there.
Yeah.
That's on you.
Exactly.
Like,
Yep.
And I won't hold that against anybody. I mean, there's a lot of people in life that play a short game all day, every day. And life is really long. Life is always happening to them. And I look at it as I get up every day to go get it. And it's people that are like that, people want in their businesses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the people that are here, I know it's going to get worse and worse and worse. That people want to poach it, want to poach the people in these walls. Mm-hmm. And I hope I do everything correctly on my side. That on the podcast side, there will be a contracting side to set up as we build out a ton of these.
Yeah.
That we're looking at other partnerships externally also on other podcast stuff, but it's just on a protection side from what that looks like. That there's a day that I hope that you guys get big enough that your job is podcasting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That the long-term investment of that for MMG was, hey, yeah, we lost money at that time, but hey, we signed a $40 million deal.
Yeah.
That, yeah, MMG took its cut. You guys are both loaded and you guys get a podcast all the time and have guests on all over the place. I mean, that would be huge.
Our own studio.
Yeah. You kind of already almost have one.
I know. I like. All right.
Okay, that's it.
Well, Dane, you are one of the best leaders I've had.
Thank
I
you.
will say
I appreciate that. I try.
You're amazing.
Still got a lot more to learn, but I think we all do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're gonna learn together.
That's what we've been doing
on the short bus.
Yep. We're just we're running the shit show in the right direction.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Any other comments?
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yep.
I thought I was gonna get targeted a lot worse. So.
Yeah, you was scared.
I'm never even nervous about doing my own podcast for 130 episodes now. Yeah. I was actually like sitting there, I'm like, what are they gonna throw at me?
It wasn't bad.
No.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah. You didn't put me in a rock and a hard place.
No. Okay.
All right. That is the end of episode 10 of Not Girls. Peace.